Sky Zero. You said that the sub was very good. Now we're seeing the main hunter that is Sky Zero. We're seeing an Axe Boy, not wasting any time as we head into this.
Totally understandable. And we saw what a really good Axe Boy can do, even if you're working with a map that is huge. So I think NR is making the right call here as far as what pick. Let's talk about those survivors still much.
Yep, we do have a mechanic by 9 Mamos, a Seer with Nerakun, Jacket with that signature forward, and OSM's Mercenary with the Flash. And now here we're at the center of Ever Sleeping Town. A lot of real estate to work with. 9 Mamos is going to get sniped out. Unfortunately, the owl was just a little too late, but it's going to extend the kite. Excellent snipe out there by Sky Zero, rocking the Axe Boy. And now we see 9 Mamos move towards the two-story building. And he's trying to get that fireball hit, but unfortunate there by Sky Zero. The train is right there. Sky Zero is there to pick up the pieces.
Oh man, Yautza. And this is a great start here for NR, being able to land 9 Mamos this early on. I think the first time we saw Ever Sleeping Town, that was kind of the struggle here. If a survivor is able to kite for as long as possible, combined with the sheer size of this map, that spells a lot of trouble for the hunter. But luckily for Sky Zero, this is a decent start. It's still too early to tell though. As we see the rest coming from the Flash.
Okay, the Flash is going to eat that hit for him to be able to save the mechanic. The mechanic trying to go towards the graveyard. Not as good as the graveyard in Red Church. And here we go, Axe Boy lining it up and sniping away at the mechanic. Sky Zero is very determined with landing these hits on 9 Mamos and still continues to chase while 9 Mamos tries to move away for as possible. Any rocket here to try as much time as possible. And one Cypher has been popped in that exchange.
Yeah, and can we just emphasize how huge it is that Sky Zero was able to land this mechanic, combined with the fact that he's sending him straight to the basement as well. This is something that OSM will have to think of. Do they want to respond to try to go for the save? Based on what we're seeing here, everyone is laser focused on going for these ciphers instead.
And Sky Zero realizing that really just his attention towards this Nerakun. Tried to use the blink. Nerakun was gathered some distance for him to be able to just get away from the hit range of that Axe Boy. And now 9 Mamos still in the basement. Sky Zero trying to check and surveil the area if anyone's going to go for that save. While this mechanic is doing everything she can to pop the ciphers before sent back to the matter, and that is what happened.
Yes, sir. And okay, this is so good for Sky Zero. Looks like he will be coming towards the Flash now. Any rushes are out of the window for OSM at this point. Sky Zero really starting to veer in here on the Flash. The Flash, of course, gonna zip just like his namesake. As he establishes some distance, Pallet will drop, but Sky Zero was just on the right side of those graves. Tries to go for the hit. A little bit too short there. Goes over the window here, the Flash. This is going to buy him a little bit more distance. So the Flash, he's really buying some time here. But oh man, at the end of the day, there we go. The fall comes in, and that will be Sky Zero sending his next victim to Rocket Chair. First time though, so this is still really good for OSM, especially with one cycle remaining. Question is, are they going to put a rescue? Are they going to go for the rescue this time on their second survivor down on the Rocket Chair?
And this early on, now we see the Seer trying to go for it and going to commit to that while he still builds that owl. The Mercenary has no elbow pads left to extend this guy, so he's going to have to rely on the real estate that is an Ever Sleeping Town graveyard. Tries to choke it. Nerakun, though, is going to see the end of that axe while the Seer falls down. We see a primed Cypher, but now the Axe Boy shifts his attention towards the Mercenary while the forward is on Cypher Pop shooting. Are we going to see a Pop Cypher while the Flash tries to go for that save? Only time will tell, as we're going to see a shared Seer here at the graveyard of Ever Sleeping Town.
Yeah, Flash is really timing that. Ooh, misses out on that swipe though. Luckily, that Cypher still hasn't been popped just yet, so really good discipline coming in from OSM. Anybody could fall, but it wouldn't really matter if they have that Cypher ready anyway. So
the Mercenary was able to get that hit. Now the forward going for that pop is Sky Zero. devoting his attention on Nergun, but the Owl is able to keep that hit and is transitioning away from the middle part of the map and moving to better real estate. Sky still has detention, so that is something to consider. Now with the Owl to work with. Can he build an Owl? No. Sky Zero is able to knock down the Seer once again, and a Seer is right there, while OSM's Jacket creates space and tries to spoil down two pallets to be able to buy some time, but no, the blink will be Articuno.
Yes, sir. Oh man, Sky Zero really doesn't want to take any prisoners in this game. And you know what? It's ironic because he is taking full prison. He's taking full prison of these survivors right now. Instantly swings back over to Nergun. This still grant a window of opportunity for the same from the mercenary. It looks like they do just that. Oh,
and the Flash now going to prioritize the exit gate. We still have a very, well, there is detention on this axe point, while Jacket is still half of health. So it's looking very dicey in terms of this rescue. They're going to try to go for it, but again, the tram is not working in OSM's favor. The Flash moving and driving around, he is going to get hit, and the forward is now unstunned by the tram, and we're going to see a shared mercenary for the second time, while Jacket was able to save the Sphere. Now moving and prioritizing to run towards that exit. Now OSM Jacket using the rugby ball. Excellent movement there from Nergun. Are we going to see a 2-2 in this match? The Flash able to get out, but still undeterred with Sky Zero and sharing this mercenary. I believe it's almost GG's Articuno, and it is. To come to the early game for Last Human to make a dent in the plan of the survivors of NR.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one consolation, can I just say as a side note, because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty eventually, this particular skin drives me nuts whenever whenever Guard 26 gets the hit, and then you hear that sinister laugh. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
You feel so hurt that you got hit by him, and then he laughed at you like that. It's just like an extra nerf for you. Like
he's taunting you.
Exactly. So let's see if Last Human will be able to get those in while he hunts his first survivor, that is Judas. Excellently placed run there, but Last Human was able to get a bomb hit. And the bombs do 1/4 damage. Judas, though, out on the heels of this very determined bomb launcher.
Ooh. Yeah, I like how Judas doesn't risk staying too long around those corridors, just because, again, those tighter spaces could prove to be a detriment to you if you're going up against Bon here. But luckily, the transitions have been great from Judas, just playing a ring around the rosy with Last Human right now. And so far, I think this is a win for NR. Lots of time being brought out here. And Last Human, the fact that he gonna rely on the bombs to do some damage. And you know what? Never mind. I take that back. Luckily, he was able to close the distance, get that first hit. All he needs is one more bomb. He's right back on track.
Yeah, that Bon was just laughing at us. Like, you think this chase is over? I got that blink right on deck. An excellent Owl. All right, just to buy a little more time while some ciphers are being popped. And now the rugby ball is going to be used to just hamper a little bit of the distance. The Owl is still a factor while we kite around the area, real close to the tram area. And now just streaking back and forth. Last Human gets his first survivor down. But Articuno, we have 3 ciphers that have already been popped, and that is the effect that mechanic brings to the table.
Yeah, it's just a great combination of the things working out for NR right now. With the composition that they have, it's just innately the advantages of the utility that they have across the board that's doing great work. And take note, this is only Judas's first time on the rocket chair. Daddy not able. Okay, there you go. Takes it right there. And terror shot. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. That was unfortunate. The double bomb into the terror shock was devastating for the mercenary right there. But you know what? Really good try, though. I think in the circumstances, you're working with such a kind of a tight spot, not the tightest spot on the map, but
Bonbon has the best camping in the game, and last human is playing that to full effect here. And that was very unfortunate on Daddy's side. Trying to go, had the right game plan, but forward, counting down, and now he has a lot to think about. Now he picks up the mechanic for him to be able to, get no hit recovery. Still moving around, and we have a down here in the process. Forward is playing away. This is like his last chair. Dylan is down as the tier, transferring his sights to Judas while Judas is there, and Aurora has to be in saving duty. A lot of things to consider in last human side because there are still 2 ciphers left, but he was able to extend and just shift the priority into saving more than Cypher Rush.
Yeah, they have to be a bit more careful here. Aurora is in the vicinity, trying to draw a bit of attention away from the pressure that last human is putting in. Again, I love this barricade of a strategy when you're running guard 20. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to work around, that's for sure, but here we have last human. Okay. Just
wow.
down Dylan.
Okay, Dylan just moving him away, but then he can just struggle free. But then he's just still picking him up and putting him back down. Aurora trying to make the approach, but then Aurora is falling down. These bombs have been played to full effect, Articuno.
Yeah, last human really knows the proper place he should be playing defense on this map, and it's such close quarters. There's so many structures that you don't really have as many pathways to work with to dodge around the bombs that last human has.
And the mercenary taking time bomb going away, but then we're going to see a struggle free here while the mechanic is still down, still never say die attitude on NR's side, while we're going to see the Seer buy enough time. The forward, though, is close to being gone. Aurora gets up, and we still have ourselves a game.
Yes, looks like NR is back on track, in which case can Aurora get the dodge, though. Took a bit of a hit, but still at 75%, things should be fine. Question is, what is... Oh, the terror shot comes in, though, just as Aurora goes over the window. So great job, in which case, coming from last human, getting that last hit before Aurora gets the...
And as with chasing, their NR is doing a bit of cleanup in terms of their resources of life. Now the forward is going to take a risk here and try to go for that save because he does have full health. But then, mind you, Articuno, he has one last chair in him before he's sent back. And here we go, last human again with that barrage. It's crazy to say that the chase was so long at the start, but once you get rolling with this bonbon, last human is doing a lot of work.
Oh man, there you go. Last human is really pushing the pressure here. There you go. Teleport comes in. Dylan goes over that pallet, but again, another tight spot if he doesn't position himself correctly. But looks like he's dodging and ducking. All is well thus far. Has to be careful though. Okay.
Yes. Last human has to be very fast in downing the Seer, and he does because that Seer was slowly building an owl, and I believe he did. Looking at the resources, he has one, but the mechanic is about to head on, while the forward is at 75% healing. Will last human be able to get there in time, or will the forward be able to get up to extend this match? Because that Cypher is almost primed, and the forward is able to get back up here at the corner house.
Yes, sir. Ooh, last human sniffs this out though. Judas has to be careful. He's kind of ducking and weaving. Looks like he's able to establish what direction he has to go. Has the premonition of how close last human is getting to him was the signal. But this is such a tough order for Judas. There's not anybody else but him that could potentially work on his cipher. The hope and the prayer is unfortunately.
Wow.
We see, of course, the Seer going to be secured. And last human. Alrighty, you know what? I did excellent on my bonbon earlier. I'm going to shake my bonbon again.
Now last human heading to the outside of the hospital over at hospital window spots Dylan and Judas traversing the area. And Dylan, not wasting any time, going straight to the hospital because this is the safe haven of the survivors.
Yes, sir. And okay, I just want to talk about the composition that NR is bringing to the table real quick. I think based on the bans that we saw, I would agree with just prioritizing Dream Witch. And it's very clear that I think they were banking on the possibility of Guard 26 coming up anyway. They know full well that last human had a highly likely chance to bring to the table. That said, this particular composition I think is great to work around the Guard 26. There's a lot of time that could be bought, whether it be the Owl of the Seer, Gravekeeper going underground, Priest is going through portals to just straight up scored a lot of bombs. I think this is a really good fourth stop from NR. The question is, will execution be on point? Because Seer already took 25 plus the hit, so it's a bit worried for Dylan. But Dylan is holding his own out there, so far so good.
So far, so good on the side of Dylan, just buying a lot of time, and another hit was able to land. Dylan on his last legs, one more bomb with even a hammer hit. And now Last Human really focusing his attention on the shack area, still wanting to down this Seer, but he does have to worry about that Gravekeeper and forward, as you mentioned. Now moving outside of shack, real close to hospital, and there's a chair that is waiting for the Seer because he will be falling down. And Last Human once again is going to employ that strategy of trying to draw NR into it, but excellent tackle, but he was able to drop the Seer in time for the Seer to still be knocked down. And now Judas right there trying to find his way and trying to find his timing to make that rescue. And as we were talking, the dungeon just appeared in that spot.
Yes, sir. Lightning reflex is coming out right here from Judas now. NR, they have to be really careful if they're going to go for the save here. And I think first things first, Judas might be a huge here towards making sure that it's a safe rescue, not the same mistake that they kind of made earlier. So I think, again, just NR, great composition, execution is something that we're really going to look for as these next few seconds unfold before our eyes.
And, you know, Last Human is really determined in, you know, just securing this Seer going back to the manor. And you see there that Judas is hovering. Lower left side sees the Priestess about to pop that Cypher, and the Mercenary is also doing his work. The Gravekeeper is doing his work, and the Seer is heading back to the manor, while we're shifting our sights towards Aurora here. Last Human going to try to through those bombs, but then again, Long Portal is able to have an exit path for this Priestess.
Yeah, beautiful timing in which case. By Aurora, just as Last Human veered towards him, was able to pop the Cypher in the nick of time. So, NR, yeah, this is definitely better decision making that we're seeing in this game.
True. Last Human being able to use that teleport now back at Judas. Accelerated decoding is now a factor. Priestess is trying to climb that other Cypher. I believe the other Cypher is at Shack. Now we're at Shack Ruins. And this is a very great place for Judas to keep hiding. But excellent bomb placement with Judas in half-life. Last Human is still determined in downing this forward, while the Priestess is still trying to push those objectives.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tricky for Judas here, but he's rolling with the punches so far. Takes another 25% to the back. And this is going to be really tricky. Can't afford another one, but nonetheless, you got to give massive kudos to Judas. He has been buying just the right enough of time for his team thus far to make sure that they work on these side first. And he's stuck in the evening, but unfortunately, his time has expired. He goes down, the rocket chair he will go, but nonetheless, NR, they made the most of this time. They can still make the most of the situation with a 2 survivor out, maybe. Another big question is, are they going to go for a rescue here?
Yes, Daddy is on his way. He is in that bro state while Priestess is locked and loaded and popping that Cypher. And now Daddy has to really worry about all these bombs that are being placed. And Daddy now trying to go for it. Gets the tide turn. In effect, the bombs are still going to be a factor. That Priestess is so close to popping that Cypher, but not just yet. Waiting for it, and she does. The forward gets an extra wind of life for him to be able to get out. And we have some healthy survivors on deck on the side of NR.
Yes, sir, and it's interesting. Last Human just decides to go straight on to focus onto Daddy, but Daddy, you know, really not wanting to do with the ducks and feet that the bomb will prove to be, just decides to go for underground. And you know what? Last Human has had enough of this. He knows that he doesn't want to waste his time. Just go straight for Aurora instead.
Lower left side of the screen sees that forward pushing the exit gate over at Shack, and he is trying to open that while Aurora trying to buy as much time as possible. Can they get a 3-man out? Because Last Human is trying his best for him to be able to get at least a tie game for them to move on in round number 2. But a very slippery Priestess is finding her way and slowly kiting her way to the back exit of this map, Arturo.
Yes, sir, and it's a massive distance.
Dungeons
but
open.
You know what? Oh my gosh!
Comfort pick of a violinist. Maybe he's more comfy using the violinist in this type of map. We aren't seeing arms factory, ladies and gentlemen. This is the hospital. And as Arthur was mentioning, we are seeing a C.
Response to what OSM has fielded on the survivor side, but you know what? We'll see. I think an optimal target earlier on would be the coordinator, I guess, just so that
bait out the gun. Yeah.
Earlier on, and after that, there's not much the coordinator can do there. But from what we're seeing here on the map, it is Jacket that's in his immediate vicinity, and he's just sniffing out on these ciphers.
Yep, over here at the over here at the shack ruins. Now shifting his attention. I probably saw that it was a forward. Didn't want to waste too much time because that forward can really just kite you for days and also have a potential stun in you. Sky Zero just patrolling the shack area, trying to find his mark. And I believe, yeah, he is trying to find the most optimal mark. Either the coordinator or the seer, depending on how he wants to play this out. Nerikun just tiptoeing his way around this structure here and plants a peeper, and I believe Nerikun is going to get sniffed out.
Yes, so finally, Sky Zero's patience was rewarded, and but good set his first victim. But you know what? Early up on that owl, Curtis, this year. So yeah, it's definitely a win for Sky Zero.
Yep. Sky Zero now trying to kite Nerikun. Nerikun moving his attention and going towards the hospital, but going to eat a hit just so we can transition. But Nine Mamos is up there. Does he want to try to go up those steps? No, he tries vaulting that window. And now Sky Zero is still determined on downing the seer while everyone is trying to go for that Cypher Rush.
Yeah, and the music is playing for Sky Zero, trying to land those good shots. Nerikun making the proactive move by transitioning towards the second floor. Let's see how this goes. Sky Zero really starting to close in on him, though. Has to be careful, looking to land that hit. Nerikun has been doing a good job right into the last moment as falls. Sky Zero successfully finally gets the target, but this is perfect! The coordinator up there. You know what? I'm bringing my crowd control to the table. You're not taking out the seer just yet!
Exactly, and that buys so much more time while the coordinator is trying to just get those notes out of her, just so that she'll be able to, you know what, we'll be able to move the map around more. But that Seer was able to get another owl, baiting another hit, and moving and transitioning to another side of this map, going to statues. Well, we see there, everyone just going for that Cypher Rush. A true Cypher fight so far. Watch out, not going for that vault, but he will eat that hit, and Sky Zero has a down Seer for now, because Jacket is right there, and he has to worry about that forward tackle.
Yes, Yuri, it looks like Sky Zero is going for the setup for now. It has to be really, really careful. Jacket is really looking to poise himself in a position where he could potentially ram this violinist in, but it looks like that won't be the case. Sky Zero with the Cypher lead successfully traps the Seer to the rocket.
And now here we go. Seer is still down. Jack is still just preoccupied. Lower left side of the screen sees that we are seeing the Cypher Rush still happening, but Jacket is hell-bent and intent in rescuing this. Oh, he gets a hit in, and he's able to get the stun. Oh, not quite. Gets the hit, and he's able to bait that one out. Oh, and gets a stun once again. Jacket has been making a lot of time for this Seer to prolong his kite. Another stun, but not quite. Sky Zero is still moving and still in this area of the statue in hospital. And now Nerikun is going to get popped for the last time, and the last effort is going to be played into effect.
Yes, sir. Sky Zero, though, turning his attention towards Jacket, doesn't want this forward to be a problem as he secures Nerikun. Sky Zero, in which case, satisfied that he's turned Jacket away, brings Nerikun back to the rocket chair.
We still have a mercenary and a coordinator, but note that the coordinator does not have a shot left. So it seems like Nine Mamos, the coordinator, is nearby the area, so she might actually be the one doing the saving. Interesting choice, but no, she's going to stick with that Cypher. And the Flash, yes, the mercenary is the one that's going to commit to that save. Does have elbow pads and still has that tide turner to play. But then, you know what? Oh, wow. Does the skill shot. That's what I was about to say. The camping of the violinist is really great in terms of how he's able to snipe out these hits, and he's able to hit the mercenary, and the Seer already has last effort.
Yes, sir. It's all a matter of timing here for Nerikun. That Cypher is ready for the pop-in. But are they finally going to go for it? Oh my gosh, that was a little bit unfortunate there. Just as was Pop Sky Zero lands the hit again, and this will be Ericun blasted out of the
and he changes to teleport because he doesn't want any of these survivors. He transfers to the Shack Gate, but everyone's over there at the North Gate. So now it is a foot race for Sky Zero to be able to down these survivors, but then he's able to really put the pressure with those notes, really slow them down. Excellent stuff. The Mercenary sees it able to see a 3-1.
Information on Eris. Just ban out straight up what he brought to the table during the first game that NR played. And in which case, Eris is going to show us what he's capable of.
Jocket is over there with the signature. Oh, he's over at the Gravekeeper now. And now Aris making sure he just gets a really good placement of that mirror, while Jocket tries to go for a kiting session here, but able to snipe him out. Luckily enough, Jocket was able to dig in and get into that state to eat that hit.
Yeah, just a little bit of a second spot, but it's kind of pleasantly appealing parallel to look out. Aris walking side by side by his mirror image. Luckily for Jocket, expired, lasted long enough, just working around the reception.
Another hit was able to get Ian by the shovel, and now not much to work with, and really a bit of a situation here. Able to get the mirror image out, but Jocket still a slippery target, able to maneuver out of the way of the sight of this Bloody Queen. He shifts his sights, Jocket trying to move, trying to maneuver, still over here at reception, trying to run towards the pallet. Let's see what he gets. Oh wow, missed the pallet hit, and Paris is going to punish him for that. Jocket still buying a lot of time for his team.
Yeah, just the master of ducks and weaves and sidesteps. But you know what? Eris attack, and I'm just gonna blink straight on you, land that hit, and mission accomplished.
And now setting his mirror image at the graveyard area, one of the safe havens of these survivors, as we're going to see a shared grave here. Jocket did a lot of ducking and weaving for them to pop that one cipher. Lower left side, the coordinator popping another cipher while we Flash on chair rescuing duty.
Yeah, oh gosh. Eric's just making sure to keep an eye on what is immediately around him. The rescue is ever so subtly coming in. I mean, the Flash is running Mercenary. It's going to be much of a forwarded moment. See, the time that rescue is right very happy.
Excellent heat on that hit, that body block for the Mercenary for him to get that clean rescue, but Jock gets the last effort top. Luckily enough, I believe he was able to save it before the half, so he will see the second round in that rocket chair. We see Aris still trying to just snipe away at the ciphers to really disrupt people from pushing those ciphers. We see the Perfumer right outside of the pushing the cipher near the back exit.
Yeah, Eris really wanting to pick up the pace in this game. Just one survivor, second time for this Gravekeeper on the rocket chair. They need to try to break in a bit more if they want to have better footing in this round 3. Now, Eris, okay, it looks like he's just keeping that mirror image in check, trying to force pressure across the map. That's definitely what the guy wants to accomplish. He wants to try to slow down the progress of OSM, regardless of the time that was bought by Jacket over here.
And look at this, Narikun going for that save, but look at that block! Excellent utilization of the real estate. Aris was able to just stop the Perfumer from getting that rescue. And now the Gravekeeper will be heading back to the manor while we see two injured survivors, that being the Mercenary and the Perfumer. Two ciphers left, one is about to pop in favor of the Coordinator. And now the Perfumer, excellent movement there. The mirror image will be chased, and Aris gets a good swipe in for a down Perfumer.
Oh, that was well played here by Aris. Whatever time that he spent extensively towards chasing Jacket was luckily made up for by the swift precision he got by taking down there.
Oh wow, and used as the abnormal just to set the sights on that cipher for it to go down. And now excellent struggle there on the side of the Perfumer while the Coordinator is still on deck. Very scary situation in terms of survivors because they have to go back to ground zero in terms of pushing those ciphers for them to be able to get out of this compound.
Oh my gosh. Eris really needs to double time here, but OSM on the flip side doing very well. That the stars are aligning for them in this moment. All they have to do is continue to do this hunter, but it's gonna be tricky. Their image is popped up once again. Eris is slowly closing in. Will he get it? So yes, he will. First hit onto 9 Mamos.
The coordinator still has her crowd control shot. And now we see lower left side, the Flash trying to push that cipher, but Eris is still running abnormal. He is probably going to just ruin that cipher and just be able to just camp out and see what happens. We're going to see some healing done by the perfumer and coordinator as his sight is set on the Flash. An excellent mirror placement, excellent utilization of the elbow pads for him to really get away from the range of this Bloody Queen, but excellent movement there on the side of Eris, being able to pincer the mercenary. He will be falling down, but that delayed effect will buy him a little more time.
Look at Eris though. I love that, knowing very well that this mercenary is going down anyway. Decides to take a quick peek towards making sure that the progress of these ciphers is constantly kept in check.
That's true. Eris being able to just monitor the map from coast to coast, hits the coordinator once again, and now we're back to this cipher at the shack that is barely even touched. We still have a down mercenary because he takes a while to get back up. 9 Mama still has that skill shot to buy some time, and he probably knows that Eris is dealing with using abnormal. His mirror cooldown effect is going down already for him to be able to pinch it. Oh, excellent shot done by the coordinator of OSM to buy him enough time, and we're going to see a healthy mercenary now. Just a little injured, but now he's up and running.
Yes, sir. Luckily, the time spent by Eris did allow the mercenary to get back up in here. Damage from top, but that's what Eris will find it. Yes, he can.
And lower left side of the screen sees that mercenary trying to move around in the real estate here just to get into optimal position. All these survivors are one hit away from falling, and I don't see any ciphers that are being touched right now, so it's a very interesting sight to see as these survivors haven't seen a rocket pair yet, Articuno.
Yeah, I think what OSM is trying to accomplish here is they're trying to draw, whenever they are the target, they're trying to draw Eris as far away as possible from the ciphers that are in progress, but Eris always having the forethought of making sure that he pushes for constant pressure is what spells trouble here for OSM. The fact is, 3 members right now at 50% of their health once again, so they have to be careful here.
And as you mentioned, we are seeing some healing coming from the coordinator perfumer. The Flash, though, trying to push that cipher, but the abnormal again is going to be in effect. He did use his last elbow pads, and now he will use that hit to try to move to a more optimal spot for him to be able to get down. But then again, was able to use his healing. So I'm not sure if Eris wants to even pay attention to this mercenary, because the mercenary is just going to fade away as he's going to bleed out.
Yes, sir. And okay, looks like Eris playing it really smart here. Touch, as you said, decides to focus on either scouting out Mama or Nerukun. Nerukun is at full health once again, though. So ideally, the coordinator might be an essential target here. But take note, coordinator is supposed to find a bit of treasure in the form of one elbow pad.
True. And the perfumer is at full health with 1 perfume to work with. So I believe Nerukun wants to gain the attention and try to kite as much as possible. Lower left side of the screen sees the coordinator opening up a tool chest just so that he can probably get more utility to work with. Excellent utilization from Nerukun to use that instant perfume to extend her life in this kiting session. Eris now is shifting his attention and trying to move and trying to monitor the ciphers. We are really at the end game here.
Yeah, I am so impressed by both sides right now. OSM really knowing how to keep the balance, so to speak, with the pressure that Eris is putting. And Eris, the micromanagement is in between these survivors and champions, and the level of prediction that he has to put into this at the same time, knowing the right timing to check on this. Impeccable.
Yes, and now Coordinator burning that elbow pad just so he'll be able to get out of the sight of this bloody queen. And the mercenary finally sees the chair. Nerikun again trying to push that Cypher near the back exit of this map. And now Nerikun does have a wand to work with. Again, Abnormal is going to be used, but as much time as it's going to be used, it will be the progress will be limited as much as Hunter keeps using it. Excellent utilization of that of the movement here by Perfumer. Moving around, Nerikun really tempting fate here, just trying to buy as much time for the team as possible. You see a still scared mercenary past the half.
Oh my gosh, there goes switcheroo Eris on to 9 Mamos here. Mercenary is already halfway through, might not be long road. Listen, have to be careful. But I guess what 9 Mamos is doing is he's trying to buy the time that he gets out. Don't drop your image though. That's a different mirror. And Terror Shock to the trick as 9 Mamos goes down.
9 Mamos had the right idea there, but it wasn't in his favor. Another Perfumer trying to push that Cypher, but Aris still again playing keep away, really spoiling any progress from happening. And this match has been lasting for so long. Coordinator is still down, not picking him up because he wants to set his sight on Nerikun. And Nerikun has not much utility. He's going to have to rely on the reception area for him to kite as long as possible before the Coordinator can actually get back up.
Yeah, take note, that mirror image is right about now. Aris only needs to just make sure that he gets the perfect setup. And there we go. The time is now. He tries to go for that second. He's down the first one, tries to go for the second, and there you have it. That Perfumer is down. But take note, on the flip side, Coordinator is back up and kicking.
And now he's going to set his sights toward this Coordinator. He realizes that he does not want to share any of these survivors because he doesn't want anyone to go for that dungeon. Now he wants to make sure now he's going to try to move the Perfumer to a better apt location just so that he'll be able to, still be able to disrupt Cypher Rush. And because, again, this is the end game, so one pop Cypher can change the tides here. Aris, shifting his sight and moving his attention towards the Coordinator. That Abnormal is going to be put into effect, but not quite enough. It's still halfway done, Articuno.
Oh my gosh, there we go. Matt and Mamos going over that window, so Aris helmet and intent. 8 seconds left till that mirror image is up once again. 9 Mamos trying to establish as much distance in this, and Aris, he's already on his tail. Look at that, was able to close in, but that pallet will do the trick going over there. But oh my god, it's coming down to the wire. Mirror image will be popped once again. Can he get this swipe? Actually manages to keep himself in check, but no, Perfumer is up again. So this is yet another moment of relief for OSM. Look at this, Nerikun already turning his engine straight to that Cypher. 78%. This Aris going to make it in the nick of time. 9 seconds till that mirror image and stuff, so he really has to make the long walk there.
It is a foot race. Nerikun so close, but he's not quite there just yet. Swing for the hit, no one home, and no utilization. We're going to see a mirror image used, and oh my gosh, Aris, with the patience, knocks down both survivors, and I believe they already used up their heals, so they're not able to self-heal. This could be cheese, and it is. Aris, arc, or will NR be able to just make their duplicate their performance they had over at Hospital?
I'm looking at this both ways. Best way I would describe it is evasive maneuvers.
Aurora setting some holy keys here at top broken. Oh wow, able to move a little bit in and out, and he was able to snipe out a early hit on the side of this Priestess, and now shifting to middle broken, and we're going to see a lot of bombs put into effect as Aurora tries to buy as much time as possible. So far, Last Human is very focused in tunneling this Priestess, moving to back broken.
Yeah, Aurora really would want to ideally find an area where those forward could establish such a huge distance. But unfortunately,
watch out!
Coming, the charge comes in.
Oh, not able to drop the Priestess in time and able to swipe out the forward. And Last Human is going to share this Priestess. Great job on Judas's part, being right there, ready for that tackle. And then Last Human is able to drop at the last second for him to be able to extend the dizziness of that Priestess.
Yeah, I mean, successful drop plus a hit on that forward. Last Human, I mean, he did it once during round 2. he'll hella do it again as far as the timing of making sure that he drops that survivor to cancel out the forward from getting that charge in. But now, yeah, this is going to be huge for OSM's last human. NR, you have to take into account, they played it smart earlier by eventually surrendering the first survivor that was shared. It's a bit tricky to go with that same thought process because you're at round 3 right now. You don't have that same luxury anymore. You got to try to maintain as many survivors as you can. As far as it goes, if they decide to surrender...
Wow, going for that teleport, and as you were mentioning, they don't have that cushion anymore because if they have one more, we're going to see a tiebreaker, and Last Human does want to get at least 2 survivors down just so that he'll be able to extend that tournament life, and as you're mentioning, they don't have that cushion anymore, Articuno.
Yes, sir, and Last Human is really hell-bent and intent on going in for Judas here. Luckily, NR is playing at the graveyard, so this should, on paper, be able to buy them more time, but this one bomb we're talking about, you might have all these graves and pallets that you can work with, but it doesn't matter if Bonbon can just easily pseudo close the gap with these bombs.
True, and he is also guarding this cipher because someone was working on it, and he gets one more hit on the forward, one more bomb will do it. We still have some pallets and structures to work with, but this forward is able to juke it out. Oh, excellent hit on the side of Last Human, another down survivor. While the Gravekeeper is still pushing those ciphers, you have possibly another pop cipher, meaning that the dungeon will be revealed, but they want to actually go for the save because they don't want to go 2-2 in this matchup and go for that tiebreaker.
Oh my god, this is huge. Last Human though, I like that. Knowing that there's still 4 ciphers remaining. Okay, now 8 ciphers remaining. Accelerated decoding has come into effect as well. He kind of has the luxury of keeping these ciphers in check, just so that he has more leeway to get more survivors. It's very clear that Last Human isn't playing to get the tie. He's playing to make sure that, I want to make sure that us as a team OSM doesn't go through that tiebreaker further. Let's go for 3 survivors back to the man.
And that's what Daddy has in mind as he tries to close out that distance. It is slowly ticking away on the side of the forward. Will he be able to make it in time? Last Human is so good when it comes to camping. He eats the hit, but he makes it in time. Daddy making that rescue, and Judas using that that rugby ball just to hamper it. And now the Gravekeeper is one that falls, but he's still setting his sight on this forward. 2 ciphers remain, so we're not going to see a tie turn in effect just yet because the Perfumer is working on that second to the last cipher.
Ooh, that was nasty. Forward as well as Gravekeeper are down for the count right now. Dylan is in quite the predicament, although Dylan, of course, great forethought, used this opportunity where Last Human was distracted, so it's getting that forward, strapped to the rocket chair to try to help out Daddy. But it's still a long shot. Gravekeeper is up right now, but Last Human, the win condition is so clear. He needs 1 more survivor and 2 ciphers remaining. This is quite the mountain that NR is looking to climb right now.
Yeah, NR needs to go on defensive plus ultra mode or whatever next level they need to attain. But oh my gosh, the Gravekeeper falls to Last Human, and he is going to use the teleport because he knows that the Gravekeeper can't pick himself back up, and he wants the floor man out. Or he wants the 4-man down, Articuno. This is actually that very scary of Last Human being so focused with this Bonbon.
Oh my gosh, Last Human, he is out for blood here. He wants to end this evening on a high note from what we're seeing here. And look at those bombs just coming in left and right. Perfumer suffering that first hit, and it isn't over. Last Human, and bombs coming in left and right. Perfume has been popped though. Dylan is hoping to go for a juke out, but will that juke out actually be nice? So far, so good here for Dylan though. Might actually go over the window, actually goes down. Will there be a retreat? No, it's actually